Hi friends, welcome to Aishusdiy. Today we will learn how to make this beautiful bracelet. I made this bracelet using the bicones of the two colors that came in bargain bead box this month. So I am going to use this multicolor bicone strand for the sample that I'm going to create right now. So uh, apart from beads, this is 4mm bicones. You can use roundel beads or any 4mm pearls or anything that you have in your stash. You can use them. And then I'm going to use 20 gauge antique copper wire. You can also use 18 gauge, and then 26 gauge antique copper wire. You can also use 24 gauge. 24 gauge would be ideal in my opinion. I didn't have the color. Here I have used this hematite color and I have used some black wire. See, this is the wire that I used for wrapping this, and this is the wire I used for the base. So the color is a little bit different, but you can achieve a different look with different colors, or you can go with the same color. It's totally up to you. It's a design preference that you want to make on your own. And then we need these, and then tools wise we need wire cutters, wire straighteners or nylon jaw pliers, chain nose pliers. If you have, you can use this bail making pliers just to make the hook, and then a round nose pliers. So these are the things that you will need, and a ruler of course to measure. And then we need something called painter's tape. You can either use this, or you can use a different one that you have, or just a regular tape. This tape will also work. So first we are going to cut our wire. So my wrist size is about 7.5 inches. This is a standard bracelet size is what I wear, and it's comfortable for me. So you need to add 1 more inch to your bracelet. That's the measurement that you need to have. So if I'm going for 7.5, then I will go for 8.5 inches. That's how much I will go for to cut the wire. So I'm going to go with 8.5 inches of wire right here, and we need that measure about 5 of the 8.5 inches. So this is 8.5 inches. As you can see, let me just straighten this out and check. Yes, it is 8.5. And I'm going to go ahead and take the same measure and use my nylon jaw pliers to straighten the wire a little bit. And then I'm going to cut about 5 lengths, 5 of those wires. I need 5 of the 8.5 inches. So if your wrist size is 7, then go for an 8 inch, but we need 5 measures of those. 3, 4, and 1 more. And as I said, you can use 7 lengths of this wire and do a slightly bigger cuff bracelet like that. Now that I have cut everything, I need to straighten these out. You can straighten it out with your nylon jaw pliers or with any cloth that you have, but I want everything to be nice and straight and flat. And when I'm joining everything together, it needs to be nice and straight. That's my intention, just like so. So make it as straight as possible, straighten those out. And when I'm holding it in about them in the middle, it's not exactly the middle, just a little bit off of the middle. I need the rest of the wires to be pretty straight. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my painter's tape. You don't need a lot, just a little bit of tape is good enough, but make sure your tape is nice and strong. cut it with your scissors, or you can tear it apart, whichever is comfortable for you. Just need a little bit of those. And then again, straighten your wire. Hold all 4-5 wires flat, and about there just put the tape on by holding everything together. Just tape it out so that they are nice and flat. Okay, this is a shorter length and this is a longer length. I want to work with the longer length first. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to separate the wires which is farther apart just a bit, just like that. And then we need our bicones. You can also use any beads you want as long as the beads fits through this this wires. So I have a 20 gauge wire, so mine is pretty good. So I'm just going to add one bicone to the end wires, towards the end wires. Then I will add one bicone to the next part, the middle, and finally to the middle. So I am going from the back to the front because I want to achieve this. Okay, so this is what I have here. So what I'm going to do now is just take this middle wire and then the next wire and then the third wire and focus on that. While I'm holding this in my hand, I'm just coming and then pinching the wire here, about here. You just eyeball it, you don't have to measure it. As long as it comfortably wraps around this center bicone, that's what we are expecting. And then bring the other outer wires also, because we want sufficient distance between these beads right here. So there we go. I want to sit the beads right next to each other, just like so. I want it to come around. First pinch these and then pinch the outer one, just like that. Make sure it's nice and straight and you don't see how this is coming. So I want these two to sit right here and these two to sit right next to it, and then the final one to sit like that. And then it's hard for the initial thing, but once you take that, then it should be easy. Now everything is in place. Make sure it's all flat and not overlapping against each other. Once you get this kind of shape, now you're good to go. Now you need to find this center point wherein you can take all the wires together and then flatten them up and tidy that a little bit. If you pinch it off, then it's easy to actually find the spot. About here is my sweet spot. Okay. There we go. Just need to make sure that this wire comes up like that. So here we have all those things together. Now all I need to do is make sure these wires don't overlap each other. Then take a piece of the 26 or 24 gauge wire that you have. Actually 26 gauge wire is the ideal one that is good. 24 gauge is the one which is good. So I'm just going to shift it with this. I think this is a 24 gauge. No, this is also 26. So yeah, I'm just going to switch with the 24 gauge wire. You need about 4 inches of wire. I just eyeball it. You don't need a lot. So, and then you just kind of fold this wire into half, just like that, and then put it on top of this 5 wires. Okay, just like so. Hold it with one finger and then start wrapping it just once. See how I still kept it flat, and then just press it with your chain nose pliers and do another lap, and then press it with your chain nose pliers and do the same here, and press it with your chain nose pliers, take it back and wrap it around and cinch all of this together and press it flat. So everything is right next to each other. Go back and then cinch it again, because we want the back to be the same too, and then just kind of press it so that it's flat. Once you achieve, so there is like 4 wraps around here, that's good enough. So just push this a little bit, and then I'm just going to cross these wires just like that, 1 cross. And then what you can do is you can hold it with your fingers and then just kind of roll these wires as if it's chasing one another. It's like a curly cue that I normally do with wire wrapping. That's what we are doing, just making a small curly cue on top. Once you attain the size you want, all you need to do is snip off the excess wire with your wire cutters and then tuck it in. So this is what you will achieve after you're done with that. And now all I'm going to do is make sure that these are straight and not wobbly, and press these flat, and then all I'm going to do is separate these wires again. So the outer wires and then the innermost wires. So separate all 5 wires, and then I'm going to add beads starting from the outer and then towards the inner, and then 1 more in the center wire. Now just position my beads so that it forms a V shape. So the centermost bead, and then I take the other 2 beads, okay, and then wrap around the center bead, then come and pinch it like that, and then take the outermost wire and pinch in the same place. Just make sure the beads stay over there, and there we go. We attain the shape that we want. Then I'm going to do the same wrap and curly cue over here, and then I'll add 1 more unit of this again here, and then I'll come back. So I did 1 more unit, and then I separated the wires. Now I have to make sure again. So I have like 5 beads, 4 units of 5 beads, and 2 units of 3 beads, and then 2 beads. So one more. So I'm adding beads towards the end of my, towards the outer edge of my bracelet, the wires towards the outer edge of my bracelet, and then towards the middle, so that it forms that V shape. So now I will go ahead and bring these two towards the middle, and then I'm going to cinch it up here. Just do a bend like that. That way it will come together nicely, and then bring the outer two more wire, and then make a dent in the exact same spot so that it forms like this. And then you can also combine this just like so. Make sure all the wires are on the same, like right next to each other, parallel to each other, right? So then we get this shape. So now we are ready to do the next wrap. Just make sure everything is close together, and then you take a 3 to 4 inch of wire. 3.5 inches also more than enough, just this much. Let me measure this for you guys, just in case, like, I mean, I just say 3 inches of wire, and hold these 5 wires together in your fingers, and then keep the wire in about the middle, and just wrap this once. Then take your chain nose pliers and just flatten this wrap. We are not wrapping it like how we regularly do, right? So 2 wraps, and then do the same with the other side of the wire. So just making sure that all of these are together and there is no gap per se, and then bend these also. So wrap it around the way that the wire sits on it, right? There we go. Just make sure everything is nice and flat with your needle nose pliers. Once you have 4 wraps, then you are good to go. So 4 wraps is what you're aiming at, okay? And once you're done with the 4 wraps, make sure it's adjacent to each other and flat, and just tidy it up a little bit, right? And the back looks fine. Now you have this short tail, so I want you to crisscross the tail. This one is going that side, that one is coming this side. So I want this one to come around like this, and that one like this, as if they are chasing each other. Just crisscross these 2 wires on top, just like so. So make sure the crisscross is in the middle, that way the curlicue looks really nice. So make sure it's in the middle, and once you're fine with the middle thing, so mine is towards that side, so I'm just adjusting that. And now you're just going to press this and make this into as if this wire is chasing the other wire. That's all. It's coming around, and then bring the other one here, just like that. So it's easy if you put your finger on top and do this, but you won't be able to see it in camera, so that's why I'm doing it this way. It's so easy if you do it that way, trust me. And that's about it. Once you achieve a little bit like a rose or something like that, that's all you need. You don't need more. And make sure it's in the center, and press this flat. Take your wire snippers and snip off the excess wire. and make sure it's tucked in properly. Tuck it in, making sure everything is in the same position and straight and nice and tidy. And now you separate the wires, the outermost wire first and then the innermost wire next. Make sure all the 5 wires you have it on the same flat edge, just like that. So this is what we have so far. And then I'm going to add 3 beads. So what I'm going to do first is, okay, just leave about say 3/4 to a 1/2 inch of wire, okay, and about the same this side. Just eyeball it. There we go. I don't want to waste these wires. You can make jump rings out of it. And let me measure this for you guys exactly. It's like about 3/4 of an inch, okay. And once you do that, take your round nose pliers. We are just snipping off only the outermost wires and we are not touching the innermost wire. So take that and make a loop, a small loop. Start the loop and then just curl it around like that, okay. There we go. We have a swirl. This is not a curly Q, it's a swirl, okay. So do the same this side. Take your nose pliers, okay, make a loop, start a loop basically, and then you put your round nose pliers this way and just kind of roll it around. So if you are not able to make it, you can do it with your chain nose pliers this way too, okay. Open it up. There we go. So we made a swirl on both sides. Now what we do is take our beads, load it, 3 beads this time because we have only 3 wires, making sure that these come around just like that, and then pinch it here. There we go. So we have our end right here. Now all we need to do is again take some wire, 3 inches of wire or less, doesn't matter, but I want to do at least 4 wraps. I want that wraps to be uniform. If you want to do 5, then go ahead and take a little bit more. I just want to do 4 wraps because that's what I have been doing. Just make consistent wraps, that's all. If you want to cut this wire ahead and keep it the 3 inches so that you don't make a mistake of making too many wraps or so, then go ahead, do it. And then I wrap this around, 1, 2, and there it is. There is 4 wraps. So now you need to tidy these wraps. Just cinch it together with your chain nose pliers and then just flatten it, and then you have these 2 wires, right? Just make sure this is straight. And now we are doing the curly Q. Just cross this wire on top just like so, and there we go. And then put your fingers and you can roll this, and then once you come to the other wire, roll the other wire, then bring the other wire. Once you come here and you're good to go, go ahead and snip off the wires. Make sure you tuck in the tail. There we go. So that's done. Now just flatten these wires a bit. Then what I'm going to do is again separate the end wires just like so, about 3/4 of an inch leave, and then snip off the wire. Do the same the other side too. Okay, take your round nose pliers and see, you just can just roll it this way, just like that. Also you can do, or else what you can do is you can just make a small loop with your round nose pliers. That's it. Start the loop, take your chain nose pliers, and then you can do it this way too, whichever is convenient for you. So I like to do this way, it's easy for me. See how it goes, it stays. There we go. So that's done. Now all you need to add is a couple of more beads. And then take your chain nose pliers and bend the wire and keep just like so, so that beads doesn't fall. So I'm going to make one more unit of the 5 and then 1 unit of the 3 and then do this, and I'll come back. Welcome back. I'm done with almost this thing. So one thing I wanted to point out is so the direction of the beads over here is the same direction that I followed through the entire bracelet. So that's something you want to keep in mind. If you want to alter in the middle and then go back and forth, that's totally up to you. So I have made the curly cues here, and there we go. And now we have 3, so all I need to do is put 3 beads. So I'm putting the center first, this side, and then like that. I'm just going to bring these 2 together and then cinch it here, just like so. Take about 3 inches of wire. Don't take less, then it is difficult for you to make the curly cue. So if you want to take 3.5, that's also good. Go ahead, hold these 3 wires together and make a couple of wraps. Make sure you flatten all of those. So one more here, and now I'm ready to do the curly cue. So just crisscross this wire on top, just like so, and then just roll it around. So that's how you get that round decorated look. Okay, and now you can snip off the excess wire and then tuck these tail in. There we go, that's done. Now we have 3 wires. Now separate these 2, okay, and then snip off about 3/4 of an inch. We have a whole lot of wires, that's tails, but don't worry about it, we can still use them. And then now we'll start doing our swirls. So this bracelet is, I'm gonna call it curlicues and swirls bracelet. And then you just make your swirls just like so, and do it on the other side as well. Make a loop, small loop, and then just rotate it around. So you can also do it like this with your pliers. Make sure yours is flat. And now you have to add 2 beads. You can add how much ever beads you want. If the length of the bracelet you need it more or so, you can add it. And then I'm going to bend the wire at 90 degrees, snip off the edge so that it's flush cut. Take my round nose pliers and then just make a big loop, just like so. And I want to do the same this side as well, making a big loop. Take it and make a big loop. So now you have this right now. All you need to do now is put it in a rounded surface and then just kind of shape it to a round shape. First with the bigger one, next with the smaller one, just like this or so, and just now you have a bracelet kind of a shape. All you need to do now is connect it. As you can see here, I have added a big jump ring and a hoop. So the leftover wires that we have, we can make our hoop with that. All you need to do is flush cut the ends and make a small loop, just like so. Then what you can do is, if you have this bail making pliers or else something cylindrical, a pencil or a pen would work. So have this here right inside. Okay, I'm using the second biggest mandrel in this pliers and I'm going to bend it around just like so. How you create a ear wire. And then take your pliers and bend this a little bit, just like a ear wire it is. Adjust it the way you want. Open it up, add it to one end of your loop and then close it. The loop at one end of your bracelet and close this loop shut. So if you want, you can hammer this in order to attain more stability, but it's totally up to you. So, and then this side I want to create a big jump ring. So I take this wire, this seems to be about right size, and take my, you can take your round nose pliers also, but I'm taking this pliers, and then I'm just going to bend this wire against this pliers. So this is a little bit short, so I'll take this wire, put it in here like that, and then bend it around, take it back, then again reposition it this way, and then you can also use a ready-made jump ring if you want, but this way it's exactly the same material as I'm just going to snip off wherever it is meeting the other end. So we want to flush cut the ends, that way the jump ring is closed. There we go, jump ring is ready. And now we open the jump ring and add it to this and close it, making sure this is closed. There we go, our bracelet is ready. So I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos every day. It comes around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I was on vacation, so I had everything uploaded, but then 2 of the videos didn't get uploaded. There was error uploading, so I couldn't do it on 2 days. I think Friday and Saturday no video came up last week. That's because I thought it was uploaded and scheduled, but unfortunately it didn't upload. So that's about it. Now it will come regularly, I'm hoping so. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.